I sent you all a very interesting question somebody asked me. Did you all remember the question? The question is this. Somebody asked me the question, does science believe that God is eternal, immortal? Who will answer the question? Who will answer the question? Please unmute and answer one by one. You all are a very organized lot, so I don't have to worry. Unmute. Does science believe that God is eternal and immortal? Does science believe?
Does not believe in God.
No, I can't hear you, please. Can you speak a little louder, please? Which one are you?
Science does not believe in God at all.
You have given me an amazing answer. Science does not believe. How do I make you host? Who's the host? I'm just 1 second. I'm going to take a second and make host. Yes, and now make me. So the technology says, it was it Kishan who answered that question? Who answered that? Kishan, right? When science does not believe in God, correct? Is what you said. No, where is the question of science believing that God is immortal? But I want 1 or 2 more questions. This is interesting. See, some questions some of you send me are like Oscar award, like Olympic gold medal questions. So can I have somebody else giving me a comment on this? Does science believe that God is immortal and eternal? Who will answer the question?
Shivoham.
Shivoham.
Science says energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can be transformed from one form to another form. That is indirectly approving God only.
You can claim any prize from me, whatever you like, because I do not believe that somebody will have the answer to this. Look at what an amazing question. So Girish, you have a right to claim your prize from me, whatever prize you like. Look at the answer. Science believes that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Science believes, science believes, bolta hai ki nahi bolta, but it can be transformed from one form to another. Okay? Kya hai ye energy? What is this energy that science is talking about? That's all science doesn't understand. Science is so close. Science does not understand that this energy is God. That's all.
Yes.
Science agrees that energy cannot be created. It is the law of thermodynamics. I think maybe 100 years old. I don't know how old this law is. This law states that energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another. Matter becomes energy, energy becomes matter, matter becomes energy. This is scientific theory. But what is this scientific theory, my friends? God is eternal. God is immortal. We have to remember this. And this means indirectly that science believes in God. Only science does not know that science believes in God. One day science, the distance between science and God is half an inch turning of the screw, as they call it. This is what happened when there was the, in the United States, there was a case of the Supreme Court of who invented the bell, the telephone. Was it Graham Bell? Graham Bell claimed that he invented the telephone. Actually, Edmund Rice had invented the telephone. But when Edmund Rice invented the telephone, you could not speak at the same time. 2 people could not speak. It was like a walkie-talkie. One way, then one way. One way, then one way. What Graham Bell came and did, he turned the screw half inch. From intermittent current, it became permanent, continuous current. And the Supreme Court gave the order in favor of Graham Bell, saying the difference between Edmund Rice and Graham Bell is the difference between failure and success. Half an inch of the screw, Graham Bell turned the apparatus. He got the invention of the telephone. We know Graham Bell. We don't know Edmund Rice. So my dear friends, let's shift to questions. Let us ask questions because we are so close to that state of enlightenment. Every day, this group is going one step forward, one step forward. There's amazing progress. Please pay attention to people's answers, because those answers are more important than my answers. Sometimes you must not miss what people are saying. Yes, please. Next question, Administrator. Prasad. Prasad, your question, please.
Yes, sir. Pranam Guruji.
Pranam,
I
Prasad.
want to ask one thing, that is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, more of Maya theory, how everything is being created with through Maya, and even the whatever we see and everything is an illusion. So how we can understand when everything is visible in front of us, how we can absorb or feel that everything is Maya as an illusion.
Prasad, you understand Hindi?
Ji.
So let me explain to you. This Maya is called Mithya. Mithya means it's a cosmic illusion. So let me explain to you what it says in Hindi. Mithya ka matlab kya hai? Dikhta sach par wo na hai. Jaise अंगूठी दिखती अंगूठी पर सच में अंगूठी ना है. अंगूठी से अगर हम सोना निकाले तो फिर ये कहाँ है. सोना अगर निकल जाए अंगूठी ना है. अंगूठी तो ये मिथ्य है. वैसे ही जग में जो भी है दिखता माया है, ये सच ना है. जग मिथ्या प्रभु सत्य. जग मिथ्या. This looks like a ring. You understand? But if I remove the gold, there is no ring. My dear Prasad, you look like Prasad. But if I remove the Atma from you, there will be no Prasad. This is the law of causation. In what Krishna says and what many of the Adi Shankara says, my dear Prasad, is this. What appears to be is only an illusion, means like a dream. The dream is real. We saw the dream. Pakka, we saw the dream. No doubt you saw the dream. But when you wake up in the morning, it is only a dream. That is Maya. So in this world, you think this is my house, my wife, my child, my car. It is yours. But when you die, nothing is yours. So this is the realization that everything is Maya. Everything is an appearance. It's a projection. This is like a 3D. Even science believes, Prasad, I think first time you're asking me a question. Science believes that if you take a cell of the human being and keep it under the microscope, it is only energy. It will disappear. It is called a quark. If you Google Q-U-A-R-K, quark. Quark is the smallest part of the human cell. So in reality, just now we started the discussion, you saw Girish's answer, right? In this world, science believes that everything is energy. You are also made up of 30 trillion cells, but every cell is energy. Then why you look like Prasad? This is Maya. You are seeing me where? What am I wearing, Prasad? What am I wearing?
The woolen cloth, or what you can say, t-shirt.
T-shirt, correct. You are seeing t-shirt. This is Maya. This is not a t-shirt. This is made up of threads. These are many, many threads. You are seeing the threads? No, you're not seeing the threads. Why you are seeing the t-shirt, Prasad? This is called Maya. What you're seeing is actually made up of something which you are not seeing. Is it making sense to you?
Yes. You can.
Thank you. Please join us every day on What Ask Care, every day at 8 o'clock. Thank you. Next question, please. Kiran Katuria.
Shivoham Pranam Guruji.
Shivoham, Kiran.
Pranam Guruji. I just want to add one thing. When they were watching under the very fine microscope, the scientists saw that the quark disappeared and after some time it again reappeared. That is wave theory, dual particle wave theory. You only taught us. So the
Correct.
particle reappeared under the microscope.
Because the wave is nothing but the particle, and the particle is nothing but the wave. Because the Atma is nothing but the Paramatma, and the Paramatma is nothing but the Atma. But we human beings, we are not able to realize this truth. We human beings are lost in Maya, in Mithya. We are not able to realize. We have to overcome this Mithya, this Maya. Good addition. I appreciate, Kiran.
Thank you.
Next, thank you.
Shivoham.
Samita, Shivoham, Samita.
Shivoham, sir.
Shivoham,
Sir,
Samita.
I don't have a question. I want you to answer your question. Really, science doesn't acknowledge God because science revolves around logic. And in God's energy, there is only magic. There's no logic. So where there is logic, there is no magic. And where there is magic, there's no logic. Is it?
But Samita, what you say is correct. This magic is enlightenment, but there's also logic. The logic, what we are talking about today, we came about with this. See, it's very logical, no? Electricity is logical or it's magical? Electricity is logical.
It is logical, yes.
And science admits that energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed.
Yes.
If it cannot be created, cannot be destroyed, means what it is, Samita?
It is
It is immortal.
immortal, yes.
If what can be created and can be destroyed is mortal. What cannot be created and cannot be destroyed is immortal.
Yes.
So science agrees that energy is immortal,
Yes.
but science doesn't know what is this energy.
Yeah, yes.
The science says energy, but the spiritualist says energy is God, Shakti. Because science doesn't have bhakti. They don't understand Shakti. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Next question, please. Krishna Sharma.
Shivoham, sir.
Shivoham.
Sir, while you are selecting your Guru, Dadaji, how did you feel in your heart? How to select the Guru and what will happen in our heart?
Actually, I did not select my Guru. My Guru selected me. Like, for example, today I saw Prasad.
Okay.
I told Prasad, please come every day. Prasad by chance came on the call today. He asked very interesting question. So what I'm saying, just when I met my Guru in 91, 92, I met him. At that time, I did not know he's my Guru. I thought he's just one Dada. And I used to go to him. I used to tell Dada, tell me about business, how to improve business, Dada. Then I used to tell Dada, okay, I'm having family problem, how to deal with my wife. Dada, how to do this, how to do that. But only many years later, when Dada told me in 2012, just about 10 years back, he told me, go on a talash. That time, he really enhanced himself into a directing Guru.
Okay.
Till then, he was a mentor. He was a spiritual mentor. So, I think also, to answer your question, in my case, Dada coming into my life is karma. Because there was no effort of it was past karma. And then the beauty of the relationship of me and my Guru, my Dadaji, we had an amazing relationship. We had a beautiful relationship. And he answered every question of mine. We used to have arguments sometimes. And I told you, one day he told me, you are an idiot. Correct? Remember I told. So the relationship between a Guru and a true disciple is a love affair. I was in love with my Guru. I was madly in love with him. I would do anything for my Guru. I would do anything. So you have to see, first of all, Krishna Sharma, to answer your question, final answer, you must be searching for a Guru. You must be seeking a Guru.
Yes.
If you don't search and don't seek, not a Guru, anything.
We will never get any Guru. If you don't search, you will never get any Guru.
Exactly. You don't search, you will not even get idli. If you want idli also, you have to search for idli.
Yes.
So you have to search for the Guru. The Guru is there. The Guru is on the path. Don't think Guru is not there. Guru is there. You have to search. You have to find. You have to realize. Then
Okay.
you will find the Guru. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Shiva, next question, please. Rajendra Makwana.
Shiva Mayor.
Shiva, Rajendra.
First of all, to answer your question regarding God is immortal, whether science believe,
Yes, sir.
okay, that fellow Suresh gave very good answer, no doubt. But I want to say that even the believers in science, like doctors, and sometimes, sometimes scientists also, and some engineers also, when there is a critical problem, they would always say that, you remember God, you pray to God. So they even believe in the, that the God is the highest authority.
No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt about it.
Yes.
When what you are saying, let me give you one more angle to what you are saying.
Yeah.
There was once, I don't know in which Time magazine, some 50, 60 years ago, in the Time magazine, when a spacecraft went out of Earth and it was outside Earth and they were stuck. That spacecraft was not able to come. And then everybody in the space station, they prayed, the whole world prayed. And when the spacecraft came back onto Earth, the Time magazine carried a picture on the front page of all the astronauts who did not believe in God holding their head. This is a very interesting story. If you find out the Time magazine, which issue I don't know, Time magazine having the picture of the astronauts who came back safely to Earth praying to God. But Rajendra, today's question was very, very, very profound question. I hope you understood.
Yes.
Science agrees in energy. Science agrees in the immortality of energy.
Yes.
But science does not realize that energy is God.
Yes.
If only science does that small realization that energy is God, that's all.
Yes.
We don't need anything else. Science will start believing in God and the world will be transformed.
Very true. Now my question is, yesterday I missed the session. How does God appear on earth? This is my question.
How does God appear on earth?
Yes.
So yesterday I told them, since you didn't come, I'm telling you for half a minute, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It says, Prabhu dharti pe aaye, Guru ka roop dhyaye, apna bana ke, raah dikha ke, mukti wo dilaye. Yesterday was the birth celebration of my Guruji.
Oh.
Yesterday we were celebrating Dada Vasmani's 103rd birth anniversary. We were celebrating, so you missed it. We had an amazing session of my Guruji, and we all spoke about Guru yesterday. So you please watch it on Facebook. The link is there on Facebook. Please watch it.
I will definitely. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Next question, please. Sudeep Bhargava.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, Sudeep.
Sir, I just wanted a few pointers that I wanted to share with you and the audience as well. And maybe then you can just tell me if I'm in the right direction or not. Regarding the first question that you had asked about the science believing that God is immortal. In one of the Upanishads, I don't remember the name, but you had told that a couple of years back to me. The Upanishad says in this way, if you say that you know about God, then you don't know about God. And the moment you say that you cannot know God, then you have started knowing God. So my point is, science itself is admitting that we have only discovered something like 0.001% of the entire universe. That is, science is admitting that. So when you have not even seen the creation of that God, how can you comment on God? That's my point. I don't think science is in a position to comment on what God is, on what God could look like. And if I go with that energy thing that you're talking about, that's perfectly true. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I will just take it to another level, maybe that you might just add to that one, that if you go by science, then the ultimate source of all the energies on the earth is sun. The moment the sun extinguishes, the energy is going to be wiped out. That is what science says.
No, I don't think that's correct.
No,
because
sir.
the sun, the sun is just one of the stars. They don't
That's
believe-
exactly, sir. Right. For the earth, sun is the only source of
Yeah, for-
energy.
you didn't say the word for the earth.
No,
You didn't-
I meant for earth. I'm sorry. For earth, it's only the sun that we see every day morning coming out and setting in the evening. That is the only source of energy. But
What
if you
is
look
the
at the
sun?
sky, there are thousands and millions of sun. How
What is
are
the-
these suns getting their energy? That science is
what
not
is-
knowing.
What is sun?
That's where science is getting stuck up, sir.
No, that sun is energy, no. Sun is giving light energy, heat energy, sun
Correct.
is energy.
Right. But where is the sun getting the source for their energy? It's the hydrogen. But from where there is the sun getting its hydrogen, that science doesn't know. They keep quiet there.
Let me, since you asked this complicated question, let me, for the sake of the audience, let me explain this.
Sure,
A lot
sir,
of
please.
people try to ask questions which are beyond our comprehension. Bridget, you know this meaning, beyond comprehension, Bridget? Suppose, Bridget, I tell you, close your eyes. Bridget? Close your eyes and see me with your nose. Can you do? Why you cannot do? Why? Tell me why, Bridget.
Because the nose can see.
Good. Because only eyes can see and nose cannot see. So
No.
human being cannot comprehend God. Human being can only realize God. Human being can understand there is God. Human being can realize God in the temple. But you tell human being until definite, I cannot see, I cannot define God. God is beyond human definition. Sudeep, you saw Bridget's answer, right?
Yes, sir.
You have anything more question?
Just one quote of yours, sir, that if you take a small camera, you can possibly go to a particular height and take the photo of Bangalore, but you cannot take the photo of the universe.
Because that is the capacity of the camera. Thank you, Sudeep. Thank you for that quote.
You're
The
welcome,
next
sir.
question, please. Bridget has a question. So here's Bridget's question. She says, is there life elsewhere? Are all souls on the same planet? Are there several dimensions? Bridget, you
Yes.
come tomorrow. Tomorrow, you and me will go to Mars along with Richard Branson and we will go and find out. We will take a flight and we will go and we will go to Venus and Jupiter and Mars.
It's not possible for now.
So what I'm trying to tell you is, this is anybody's guess, no, Bridget. We don't know whether there is life, there is no life. We don't know, and we don't even bother to know, because what matters is me and you and our happiness and our peace and our God and our liberation. We want to be liberated. Yes, are all souls on the same planet? The soul is everywhere, not only in the planet, the soul is in the cosmos. The soul is everywhere, because the power of the sun is
So-
also the
Everything is possible.
everything.
Everything is possible.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
possible.
Therefore, what you're saying, if the soul is everywhere, then life is possible everywhere. It's possible, but if it is there or not there, we don't know. But is it possible? Of course it's possible. Of course, nothing is impossible for God. And are there several dimensions? What dimension, Bridget? Because everything is an illusion, Bridget. Everything is a projection. Even if there is another dimension, it is just a projection. It is not real. It is an illusion. Everything is an image of God. So we must realize this truth. Okay,
It's
Bridget.
just theater.
Thank you. Dipanshu. We are going to ask the question, Dipanshu, or should I answer? Dipanshu has a question.
Yes, sir.
Either you can ask me or I will read your question, Dipanshu.
Shivam, sir.
Shivam, Dipanshu.
Sir, I want to ask you about astrology. Actually, some people do, and I feel it's not good, but it's so mind diverting for me. And please help me with this. I mean,
Okay,
no.
let me explain to you. There are two aspects of astrology. One aspect is to look up in the sky and to see the sun and the moon and the stars. Is it there? The sun, the moon, star is there or not there?
Yes, sir.
It is there. But some people, they take advantage of the sun, moon, and stars, and they create a science which nobody can acknowledge or nobody can believe, or there is no logic behind it. They create their own story.
Yes.
Now we don't have to believe in that. So you don't have to worry about it. For example, some people say, Shani hai, ye Shani puja karo, or somebody will tell you the black cat crossed the road, you don't walk across now. These are all superstitions. In Bangalore, there's one man, he has a parrot. The parrot will go, pip, 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 will pick one card and they will open and they will tell your Janam Patri, the full life of story they will give. You're seeing the parrot story, but if you have listened to us. So all these things we should not believe. You please, Dipanshu, because there is no doubt that the planets are there. But the planetary position is only known to God, not known to man.
Yes.
So you do not have to worry about it. Don't, what you're saying is disturbing you, do not believe. It's like a story. It's like Santa Claus. You know Santa Claus?
Yes.
Huh? Is he real? Santa Claus is real? He comes on
No.
Christmas Day and he gives the gifts?
No, never.
No, it's only a fairy tale.
Yes.
So most of the things in this world, most of our religion also is fairy tales. It is only myth, mythology. Don't believe in it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next question from Gaurish. Gaurish, should I read out? You answered many times. I have a confusion. What is the difference between mind and intellect? I thought you asked me yesterday. Gaurish, what is the difference in mind and intellect? The mind is a thought factory. It produces thoughts. The intellect is the one that discriminates thoughts. The mind gives the thought. The intellect tells you it is right or wrong. The intellect makes you choose what to do, what not to do. The intellect is the discriminator. The mind is the thinker. Therefore, if you are driven by the mind, you are in big trouble. Because the mind is only creating thoughts, but it is not good thoughts. The intellect uses the power to discriminate and says good, bad, black, white, wrong, right. That is the power of the intellect. It's the gift only given to human beings. A dog doesn't have intellect. That's why sometimes dog is eating shit. Have you seen a dog? Hey, why are you eating? Dog doesn't know. This dog is no intellect. The dog has what is called instinct. They have instinct, no intellect. Only human beings have intellect. Thank you. Next question. Lakshmi. Yes, Lakshmi.
Shivoham, sir.
Shivoham.
Sir, as you always say that in good things we can see, in each and everything we will see God. But things which is ugly, do we see God in that also, sir?
So Lakshmi, good question, because we are thinking good and ugly. For example, you see a beautiful white dog. You say, what a nice dog. And you see a lizard and you say, what a dirty lizard. Correct. You are telling the lizard is correct. But for a lizard, is lizard dirty? For lizard, is a lizard dirty? No. So this is called the law of relativity. Law of relativity. So when we believe God is in everything, we don't look at what appears. Nothing appears good and bad. We see beyond what appears. We see beyond to realize the truth. That is the goal. The problem is that today's world, people are so lost. People are just following the herd. If 100 people, if 500 people are saying Hare Krishna, 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 1,000 people will say Hare Krishna, Krishna. They don't know who is Krishna, what is Hare, they don't know. But they go on repeating. So we unfortunately, we should not follow the herd. In the journey of enlightenment, Lakshmi, we have to use our intellect, correct? And God is not what appears. What appears is just the effect. From gold, I can make a beautiful parrot. From gold, I can make ugly donkey. Does it mean the gold is ugly? So also God is not ugly. God is the cause. What we see is only effect. Thank you, Lakshmi, for your question.
Thank you, sir.
Huh? Sarah, your time for your question, Sarah.
Hi. So my question is, should we expect anything from God? Because, you know, being a Muslim, we have been taught a lot of other things, you know.
Of course.
So I'm stuck here now.
Don't be stuck. And see, Sarah, just because our faith teaches us something, what we must do is we have to ask questions. Now, let me give it to you from your perspective. Should we expect everything from God? In reality, God only gives everything, no? God gave me eyes, God gave me ears, God gave me nose, God gave me hands. God only gave everything in this world. If it was not God, then there's nothing. In reality, everything is God. The problem is what you're believing in. The problem is this: you think that you and God are separate. I speak to many people in Kashmir when I go, and I tell them, Ruh means the soul. In Islam, the Ruh means the soul. So I tell them that I see Allah in you. I see you are Allah. And they agree. Everybody says, yeah, Allah andar hai. Which means that in every human being, even you understand that your heart inside, the power inside is the power of God. That power is everything. That power gives you everything. But Sarah, when the religion, when we are taught about this, whoever teaches us that after we die, we will go to Jannat and there we will get, then you have to ask question, no, Sarah. I don't have to answer the question. After you die, you know where you go, right? Should I tell you or you know where you go? If somebody dies, you dig the grave, if you dig kabr khod ke dekho, wo andar hai ki nahi hai? Udhar hi hai na. The body doesn't go anywhere. Then who goes? That's why I spoke to one Maulvi. I spoke to one Maulvi for 3 hours in Srinagar. He told me, sab रूह जो है, कयामत के दिन तक सब इधर ही होंगे. फिर एक दिन कयामत will come again. Now you have to be able to put logic. See, you have to interpret what you have been taught in the right way. You don't have to give it up. You don't have to change it, but you have to interpret it. Allah or God is inside you. He has given you everything. But some of the things which you don't agree to, you have to change your belief system.
Yes.
Am I making sense to what you're saying?
Yes, totally. Yes.
But follow, see, God is one. It doesn't matter whether you call Allah or Krishna, it is not changing God. There is only one God. Whether you look at it, you look at my hand like this or you look at my hand like this. It's one hand. It may appear different side, but it's one hand. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Last question.
Thank you.
Girish, last question for today.
To an attempt to explain why this Maya world appears real and we can experience that, we have to go into the question of pure existence. What is pure existence? What is an appearance? Pure existence is something which is eternal, which is partless, it is ananta, all pervading. But whatever objects in the world which we experience has got its existence based on that pure existence. What we see is on the eyes and experience through different sense organs is only the qualities or attributes of those things, not the pure existence. So whatever object which has got no pure existence cannot be called as real, but still it is available for our touch, taste, vision and other things. That is our sense organs. They report about the different attributes of a particular object, but they cannot perceive the absolute existence.
Correct.
And in Sushupti, there is no mind and there is no world. So this world is a projection of our mind.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
So So it is neither real nor completely unreal. So it is mithya, undescribable. So we can experience it.
So it's
But
an amazing.
God,
It's
pure existence has to be understood by us in everything. Without the
can
pure existence, there is no existence for any object.
Can we put this for a point of discussion tomorrow? Because our time is over today. Would you like to discuss this point tomorrow?
No. Whatever I have understood, I have just told you.
Okay. Is there any question based on this?
No. I want to concrete my understanding by
just give
your
you,
understandings.
to give you an example, and before we close, this glass is colorless. If I put water in this glass, correct? If I put water in this glass, the water is also colorless. But suppose this glass was red color and I put water in the glass, what color the water will look?
Red.
Now the glass is passing on its appearance to the water. This is exactly what you said. This is what it is explained. But this is very heavy for the group to understand. So if there's a question you ask me, the group should not worry about this, because otherwise you will go home with head circling. So with that note, my dear friends, our goal is enlightenment. We respect time. I bow down for your patience, and we continue question answers tomorrow. I thank you.